So today I'll be installing a rear tow shim for a 2015 Honda Fit. It's the last generation of Fit sold in USA, so it should be applicable to 15 through 20. Now there's the shim from Specialty Products. I had to order it online through my local store and have it delivered. You can buy these as a set of like 20 for about $180, but these are less than $10 each and only need two. You can in fact stack two of them up, but this was the problem. The rear has not been alignable for years and I have just ignored it, but starting to get some rear tire wear. So you see those red numbers, that's for the toe. Above that is the camber. This should apply to toe and camber. They're different shims, but basically the procedure is the same. And I want to get it to that level, so I bought the 0.3 degree shim, which should bring this down to 0.15, which is right in the middle of that range. And that's the one I just finished. Now I'm about to do the other one where it's in better shape. I'm putting in the 0.1 shim, which should bring it down to 0.14, 0.15, like right in the middle of that range. So the first step is to get the tire off. I like to loosen it about a quarter turn before getting the weight off the tire. So before jacking up the car, release the emergency brake and block the opposite front wheel to prevent movement. Then you get this off and the brake drum. Loosen, loosen, loosen. And then back in here, there are 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3. That's just believe me. There are 4 in each corner, and you can swing the hub around to give yourself room. Now the only reason I'm doing this is I am a mechanic by poverty, just a regular guy. I don't do this for a living, and I kind of hate working on cars, but I'll do anything to save a couple $100. So first step is loosen those 3 bolts there, and it looks like they're 14 millimeter. So got those 4 bolts out, and now this brake backing plate and the hub should all just come out, rock back and forth to both sides. Boom, boom, boom. And it's just about free, except for one last little thing. Right in the back there, I believe it's part of the setup for the e-brake. There's a little 10 millimeter bolt that holds on the cable right back in there. I found this is by far the most annoying little part of the whole project, but you have to get this off to get the shim in there. So I'll turn this off while I do some cursing. So I got that 10 millimeter bolt out. And you'll see this little square thing that will go into the hub, which I just pulled out. So right here is a hole, and this is where the square peg goes into the round hole. The hub just came out pretty simply. So here's the shim. It's a slightly wedge-shaped. You can't really see it here, but it's skinnier front to back and wider one side front to back. The camber shim probably looks just like this, but it's thicker on the top and or bottom. And there's plus and minus signs on the corners. There's some nice directions that come with the part, but I need to subtract degrees from this. So I'm putting the minus sign on the outboard side on the top facing the front. So this will go back in here, and I'll slide the hub back in and then attach that the little annoying e-brake part that's in there. So here's the hub back in the brake assembly, and there's no need to remove the shoes or anything else in there. It just comes off as a unit. It's probably a good time to check to see if your brake shoes need replacing, since you're already there, although taking off the wheel and the drum is a pretty easy job. And you can see the bolt is back in place, holding that on, and the shim is in there. Kind of hard to see, I know. It's worth it though to check and make sure you have your plus and minus signs on the shim facing the right way, because as you're trying to get that bolt in for the e-brake, which is by far the biggest pain in the butt. That was when I was doing most of my cursing in this job. It took longer than everything else up to that point just to get that in. You really need 3 hands. It helps a lot. But anyway, that's in. The shim is in place. So now we'll just put the brake plate back into position and line up those 4 bolts through your newly installed shim. So the only tricky part to this is make sure the hub holes are aligned with the brake plate holes. It might involve a little shifting, shaking back and forth. And this is like a lot of auto stuff, is get them all started and then tighten them up evenly across. Don't tighten one down all the way. And we'll come back in a couple minutes. So I got all 4 bolts finger tight. Now any real mechanic watching this is probably cringing with my non-use of a torque wrench, but if you cared, you can go the extra step that I didn't and look up what the torque specs for this are and do it properly. But for me, I'll just get them nice and snug. Once again, evenly done around here, and go to the opposite side and getting close. So all 4 of those bolts on nice and snug. Replace the drum. Tire. I'll WD-40 those threads just to make it a little easier next time. But basically, that's the job for replacing the rear wheel shims, alignment shims. not as bad as I've been thinking for the past few years. Good luck to you.